somewhere or another. I reckon that's it right there. Look out.
Have an explosive reaction.
Hey, you remember knocking those tires off, these rims? I had to cut the centers out and flip them around and weld them in the other way to get the right back spacing. So that's what I did there. And the other rim was totally rusted away. So I had to, well, I had another rim. Luckily I had another rim sitting around. That was the same kind of rim. I cut it in half, split it to make it the right width. This is 14 inches. I need to put, well, I cut it in half. I'm going to weld a strip that's about 11 inches wide in it. So take my plasma torch and cut this out. Then I got a friend with a metal roller, and we'll roll it, and then I'll weld the rim together and then weld the center in it. So where's that center? There's the center. It was a nasty thing to cut out. But we got to cut out, and we'll get him welded in there. All right. When you're using a plasma cutter, when you're using a oxyacetylene torch or oxygen propane torch, you always blow it into your cut. But this, you got to do the opposite on your plasma cutter. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, we pulled him off, knocked him off. Anyway, I gotta go ahead and pick some corn. I plant corn pretty late because I always say I don't want to be picking corn in September in 80-degree weather. But this is last October 30th, and I think it's 81, 82 degrees. I'm gonna go pick corn. So I'll get back and work on this later. See ya. Hey, we're out here working on the rims. Got the other one, the center welded in it, and had to weld up one of the, well, I had to weld up where the valve stem was, because with the center turned around. I know that's a terrible looking weld, but there was some gaps in there and stuff. I welded it good on the other side. So anyhow, I had to weld up on the inside of the rim where the valve stem hole was. I'm going to mount them tubeless, so I got to put a hole on this side for the valve stem. I got to weld up all these little holes on this rim, and went up to my buddy's house yesterday and we rolled this strip. As soon as I get these holes welded up and that valve stem hole welded up, I will go ahead and weld that ring in there and get the halves welded together, and then weld this center in it. Anyhow, alright, we'll get some of the welding done. I got all them little holes welded up on there, and I'm welding the ring on, getting it centered up on there and all that. So I just need to trim this end a little bit, maybe about 1/4 inch or 3/8 off of it, and then get them to butt up, and we'll be set. Well, the sun finally came out today. warmed up to, I don't know, t-shirt weather anyhow. So anyway, so I got this rim tacked together. Now just got to take a good while and go ahead and weld it all the way up, which will take a while. I don't know why you always end up with, sometimes you got gaps like this. Just have to do some creative welding with that. You take a second welding rod and we're welding with the first welding rod. We kind of feed this one into it like you're brazing or something, and it usually will fill up that hole. So, which usually works anyhow. So I'll see you in a couple days after I finish welding. Making some progress on the welding, about a third of the way done, I guess. Using some old welding rods I'm just trying to use up. If I was using some nice ones, I could lay down a little bit better weld, but there's a big wide gap I filled in there. A couple other gaps like this one, I just kind of lay one of these big rods on there with one hand while I'm welding with the other rod and moving them along, and it fills it in. So then I'll have to weld on the other side, run a little bead. I'll try to get some better welding rods so it looks a little prettier. Well, I stuck all the injectors in there when nobody was looking and put the lines on. Yeah, I gotta make a gasket for the turbo exhaust housing. Usually like to make it out of a copper. Gotta go find where I got my copper at. Before I headed over to this shop, I had to move this darn thing to get to the back of it. Under here, let's see, somewhere or another. I reckon that's it right there. Look out. Yep, that's my roll of copper back in there. Yep. Guess I'll get to making me a gasket. There's the old exhaust housing. I got to make up a little bit of a gasket for it. Got to cut a strip off of this, so I reckon that's what I'll do. Got to cut it straight as you can across there. There you go. Homemade ones is better. You can custom fit it to your homemade exhaust flange, which I got a little bit of an adaptation going on there, you know, a transitional area. Okay, I got to trim this up a little bit, getting the right outside size. There you go. Got the outside size, huh? Let's see. Now, let's see if we can hammer one. See what happens. Howdy. The copper's soft, and you can pretty much do this with copper. I would make one out of sheet metal or steel. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Got to pound on them a little bit more to get it cut all the way through. Just got to do a little cleaning up with either a file or a die grinder. Get the holes a little bit better. So I have it. Then I got to knock the little bolt holes in there. It will be set. Phew. There she be. Just got to knock the little bolt holes out and we'll have her. I made a custom gasket because this here is a custom flange. Homemade flange, got a little bit different. I believe it'll go like that. I don't know. Let's see. That's the way of it, all right. Yep. Boy, that's going to be hard to get up on there. There she be. I guess we got that one started anyway. You know what? I got to go get a couple of washers. Well, the time has come to put the old intake housing on my turbo center section. This old antique Holsa turbo, very obsolete old design, but we're going to run them anyway. It actually spins backwards from what most turbos spin. When viewed from the compressor end, most turbos will spin right-hand rotation. This one goes left-handed, not that it makes a difference, but it's just backwards. And I like to do everything backwards, it seems like. So anyway, we're going to put that on there. Sometimes when you use compressed air to push the piston out of your hydraulic cylinder, the result could be an unguided missile going across the floor of your shop. No harm done. Luckily we wasn't squinting our eye and watching for it in front of it. The pig's over here. What are you doing? What you got on your face, huh?